I have spent way too long avoiding punch needle. It looked complicated, intimidating, and honestly, I wasn't sure to even enjoy it. But this kit has hundreds of positive reviews on Amazon, so today I'm seeing how hard is punch needle actually to make. I am starting a new series here on Slice So Simple because I love creative hobbies, but I wish before I started someone would tell me if it's actually worth the time and the investment in it. So for this, I'm going to try some new crafts, and then I'm going to score them on difficulty, time, value, relaxation if I actually enjoyed them. So stick around at the end to see my score. Let's open this punch needle and see if it's actually worth the hype. My prediction, I think this is going to take me about an hour, maybe be a 4 out of 5 out of difficulty, and I'll be pretty impressed if I finish the whole kit. Let's see how right or wrong I am. So to start with, we have this Emery Lane punch needle kit. So it's got 6 coasters in it, and you do the punch needle and then you turn it into like a drink cup coaster. So we've got a card, we've got yarn and maybe some coaster bottoms, some punch needle and threaders. We've got an embroidery hoop, and then we have the 6 patterns that you can do for these coasters. And finally, an instruction booklet. So I am going to scan this instruction booklet quickly. Okay, it seems pretty straightforward, and I am excited to do my first punch needle. I am going to do this green one first, this green flower. The additional supplies you need in addition to this kit is some scissors to cut yarn with. Reading the instructions, it says that we're gonna take this little metal bit, slip it down the tube of our punch needle. I'm gonna get some yarn, pop it into the end of this, pull it through. Nice. Okay, and then the other thing the instructions said is when we're putting this in, that we need to make it in the embroidery hoop really tight. It says if my stitches are getting loose or they're not staying good, it's not tight enough, so I'm not really sure how to do that, but let's see what we can do. Popping it in, and then I'm just like pulling on the edges to make sure it's tight enough. So now I have it on my embroidery hoop, and we're gonna start on, it says go on the design side. We're just gonna push this in. We're gonna push the punch needle from the top, and we're gonna push it all the way down to like this black part, and then we're gonna move it just a little bit like a pencil, kind of like instead of like a pencil push. So I'm gonna do my outline first. Hey, look at that, it's staying in. Interesting, it's staying in without me really doing anything. Okay, and then it makes these like yarn loops on the other side. I'm just gonna do this outline. The instructions said to keep an eye on the design side. So this side that I'm working on that has the picture is not the finished side. It's gonna be like hidden by the backing of the coasters. Okay, oh, so that was my first, but there's still kind of like a lot of gaps in here, which a little hard to see on the front, but let's just poke around in the back a little bit here, see if we can make that bit fluffier. Oh, okay, I made a mistake right there. I think I pushed too much, but okay, I'm just gonna pull it down and give it another go. Maybe doing the outline first was not the right choice. It just made it too hard to see in the middle here. Satisfying stabbing in. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Oh, dang it, my last one came out. Probably because I already punched over. I'm just gonna go out a little bit more back in. Yeah. So now you just snip off the threads, and then we do our next color. For this is yellow. We're just gonna re-thread this. This threading is pretty satisfying. Easier than threading a needle by far. I feel like I've seen those videos of people doing, like making rugs with the gums. This feels like a smaller, maybe more attainable version of those rug makers. So I'm just leaving like a little hoop at the end. And going along this flower stem. Maybe I need to turn my needle the other way. Okay, I had my needle the wrong way to start with. Having the like stabby side pointing away from you seems to be a better situation. I also feel like I need to keep this thread kind of loose. How are we doing on that side? Looking good? Nice. Okay. I think that I was holding the punch needle wrong when I was doing the middle. I feel like this is a much more satisfying, like it didn't pull out so much. It wasn't so weird to look at. Probably should have paid better attention to the instructions for that. I'm just gonna go along with our next little leaf. I felt some drag on that one. I wonder if this is one I can fix by pulling out some stitches. Oh, nice. Okay. So I felt that I stabbed through my yarn. I'm just gonna like try and wiggle that weft together and tighten this out and hope I can fix it again so I don't have those weird yarn loops. You can see that I've loosened it up a little bit with my stitches, but I'm hoping that I've wiggled it back in place. Oh, the yarn's still holding. That's good. All right, so now we have our flower done. That part is quite fun and satisfying. Okay, so I've noticed sometimes like I don't want to accidentally pull in the yarn from the other colors, and I'm working kind of close right here, so I'm just being careful as I'm putting these ones in that I'm not accidentally dragging that yellow through to the other side, because sometimes I got those weird loops and I think it was just putting stitches too close, like stabbing into the other yarn as I was going. Feeling good about that. And then this side that you're working on is the back side. It is a little bit counterintuitive to me that this is the back side, but the side over here has like the fluffier bit of yarn to give you that like cozier coaster. So I'm just gonna, I don't want to cut this right now. I'm just gonna go across the back of mine and continue the stabby stabby. Uh-oh, that one didn't stay in. I think my yarn might be too tight over here. I'm afraid of it pulling out my stitches if it's too tight. Because they're just, like, nothing's really holding them on the other side. It's just kind of like a loose bubble of yarn, so they just want to catch. Going right next to these other colors with the light and dark is a little bit extra tricky, so I'm just going to pay extra attention while I'm doing this border. Oh, that one almost hit my finger too. And this needle seems sharp enough to do some damage, so beware of finger placement. Okay, so here is the front side of the coaster, and here is the back side where I've been working. So now we are going to free our coaster, put our embroidery hoop to the side. Cute. So you can see that this side where we were doing the punch needle, the stitches are a lot like more bubbly and thick. And this side where I was like punching in, it didn't leave the line as bubbly and thin. So this is the side that there we go. We've got this like felt backing. So we're gonna put that over our work area so that this like bubbly bit can stay upright for a future mug. Says that we cut out a circle, and I'm just gonna like cut along. I can see where my embroidery hoop was. And now we're supposed to cut mini slits in this so it bends over more easily. We are going to affix this sticky backed thing. Let's see. It does seem pretty forgiving, so if you don't get it just how you need it, you can pull up the backing a little and go again. All right, and here's our coaster. It's super cute. 100% cute. All right, so 1 to 5 needles of difficulty. I would say this is maybe a 2, just because sometimes those stitches got like a little, like you can see where my stitches bubbled a little bit. And I feel like you You do need to like supervise your work a little bit, and I did need to like adjust as I read the instructions. It was not difficult, it was time consuming. Final time on this project was about half an hour per coaster, and there's 6 coasters in the set. Next one, is it worth it? I think so. I feel like this feels like a very reasonable price for a crafting set. I like that it comes with the 6 projects for us to do, and I like that we're not just like doing them and then done, that it finishes and it has a purpose to it. So I feel like these coasters are really cute. I feel like this would make an excellent gift, both the kit and if you are a crafty person who likes to give handmade gifts, I feel like these themselves are a very cute gift. Relaxing or frustrating? I feel like this is quite relaxing. I would give this a 5 out of 5 for relaxing craft. I feel like stabbing things a whole bunch of times is quite cathartic. I could use more stabbing in my life, so I am sure that I will in fact finish this punch needle kit because my life again could use more stabbing. How messy is this project? I feel like in terms of craft mess, this feels like I can scoop it up and put it away in 30 seconds. I would feel not that messy. This is not death by glitter. Kid friendliness. I would say that this is probably, if you have a very crafty 7-year-old, I feel like a 7-year-old could probably handle this. I would maybe say 10 plus. My biggest concern is that the punch needle is very sharp, and in fact I stabbed myself with it a little bit on one of those stitches because I wasn't paying attention to have my finger under the thing. So it is not without risks. So if you're thinking about doing it yourself or with kids, if you are particularly accident prone, this does have like a sharp stabby, so keep that in mind. TV friendliness, I feel like this is not very TV friendly. I did feel like I needed to have my eyes on this project most of the time while I was doing it, but it's very audiobook friendly or like very girls' night friendly. You could easily be crafting this while chatting. I do feel like you just need your eyes on the project, but you could listen to something fun. So yes, this is a fun listening craft. Would I choose to do this project again? Yes, I plan to make this entire kit. So I will be doing this 5 more times, and I think this is quite a fun one. My best surprise for this craft is honestly just how it works. The idea that you can stab into this fabric and not have to tie or wrap anything off and these loops just stay, it boggles my mind a little bit. But I think it's really fun. I didn't really mention, but this, like, I don't know if all the kits are this way, but I do kind of like that this is like legitimately a wooden tool. It's not just plastic. It feels like pretty nice quality. My biggest frustration, I don't know, I didn't find this to be a terribly frustrating craft. I guess my biggest frustration is probably going really close to the edges with the other colors and making sure that I wasn't accidentally like stabbing into my old color and making the yarn all janky, or like pulling through my new color. I felt like that was pretty reasonable to fix. I definitely think I could have cut, like I have a loop right here that I'll probably just like trim down so that it matches the others, but not a terribly frustrating craft. I do feel like, so a couple of my stitches were pulling out as I was going. So I do feel like reading the instructions and making sure this was really tight was an important part of the process. So I guess just make sure that your project on your embroidery hoop is very tight. Final verdict, who is this project perfect for? I feel like this is a great beginner project. I like that pretty much everything I need in this kit, save scissors, was included. Fun, functional, relaxing. I'm giving this one like a 10 out of 10. This is a great beginner craft. So it's been about a week, and obviously I did not stop at that first coaster. I made all 6, and I think that tells you what you really need to know about this craft kit. If you've been thinking about trying punch needle, I can genuinely recommend this one. I'll leave everything linked in the comments below. And if there's another craft you've been wondering about, leave it in the comments. Maybe I'll be the one to find out how hard it actually is. See you in the next one.